Good evening, and we begin at 5 with Portland's homeless crisis as a large stretch of camps along Northeast 33rd Drive are now being cleared. The city says it's because of safety along with potential federal violations given how close they are to the airport. Well, thanks for joining us this evening. I'm David Mulco. These are encampments that have been mushrooming over the years, though, as Blair Best explains, only some are being removed.
PBOT is removing RVs and vehicles from the east side of the street because it's next to Portland International Airport and potentially violates FAA regulations. These camps also fall under Mayor Ted Wheeler's ban on camping along high crash corridors. But for those living here, they tell me losing their home just sets them back even further. This busy stretch of Northeast 33rd Drive, now a dead end for those living on its shoulder.
Where are we supposed to go? What are we supposed to do?
An all too common fear for people like Shelby Ryan, who has called this place home for the past year.
Well, they come and they take everything from you. You know, they take your house, your trailers, and they just leave you on the side of the road.
PBOT just towed her RV, truck, and trailer, but she's not alone. So far, they've removed 5 RVs and 12 cars.
They took everything from us and we didn't understand why, if they're homeless, why are you going to make them more homeless?
The city says that they offered you guys shelter after they moved your stuff.
What a joke. They offered us shelter. The people would come and talk about the shelter and then we never see them again.
Did you want to go into shelter?
No.
Why is that?
They try to control you, you know, and I don't want to be controlled. I'm not an animal.
So she moved to the other side of the street and is now living with a friend. But the city says 6 people accepted their offer of going into shelter.
Makes you feel worthless, essentially. I mean, for them to just take your stuff and tell you that they don't care how you feel about it.
Michelle Vrasper also lives on the west side of 33rd, all because the city moved her here several months ago.
And told me that I was going to be able to be here for longer than I was at my last spot, and it hasn't even been half as much time.
The city tells KGW they towed a few RVs like Vrasper's from other areas that posed health and safety hazards. They moved them here to Northeast 33rd Drive because city parking enforcement crews believed it was the best option at the time. Now, 7 months later, she's preparing to be towed again.
I mean, every time you get comfortable, somebody else from the city tells you don't belong here.
It's like looking over your shoulder every minute.
After PBOT finishes clearing the side of the street near the airport, they say they may remove the camps on the other side as well. Do you have a plan of where you would go if the city came and cleared you?
No, I don't.
What do you think it'll take for you to get out of this cycle?
I don't know. I don't know.
Until then, many are left not knowing what comes next or how to move forward, despite the resources being offered to them. If you could talk to the city, what would you say?
I would tell them to take a deeper look at the people out here. We're not out here because we want to be. We're out here because this is where they put us. This is where, and we try to get out and get jobs and get back on our feet, and they just won't let us.
As for all the leftover trash, well, PBOT isn't responsible for that. So the city's rapid response teams are coming in behind them to clean it all up. In Northeast Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
Well, let us take you across the Columbia, where Vancouver is considering a 3rd location for what it calls a safe stay community for the homeless. Tim Gordon joins us live downtown. Tim, this is all still kind of tentative, but that particular site you're at, it's a bit different from the other 2.
Yeah, it is, David, because unlike the first 2 sites, this one, which is a big open parking lot right now, is downtown and on the edge of a neighborhood, too. But what's the same, there are homeless people in downtown that do need help.
Through 2 different incarnations with the decor.
It was a nearly decade-long labor of love to renovate for Sally Reevy and her husband, the bed and breakfast, their retirement business, and now the prospect of a city-sanctioned homeless community as neighbors.
Right across the street there, where all the cars are parked now. So that's my potential new vista in the morning.
Reevy is very concerned about what this could mean for their way of life.
I'm not sure how it's going to affect our business. I'm not sure how it's going to affect me personally and my husband personally, because we live here.
Vancouver has 2 safe stay communities now where up to 40 people can live. They are secure places with tiny homes and support to find a way out of homelessness. The first opened late last year off SR 500, the second more recently along 4th Plain Boulevard. Both are well east of downtown.
I would understand why someone without much knowledge of what these spaces are like might be nervous.
We met homeless response coordinator Jamie Spinelli at the first site. Spinelli says if they do open a site downtown, it will be much like the first 2.
I mean, I suppose I would try to quell some fears. You know, our data shows that police calls have been down around this site. Need for emergency services of all kinds have been down at this site. It is successfully moving people into permanent housing, into treatment, into employment.
That's a good thing, but who knows really what it's going to do? Is it going to invite the cancer into our community?
Reeve says she supports ending homelessness, but thinks opening a sanctioned camp in her neighborhood could attract more of the trouble they've already seen.
We have had many problems with the homeless people. Everybody around here has, but we've just sort of thought, well, we put up with it. But this to us seems like it's getting worse, and we don't want to turn into another Portland.
Again, this site has not been selected yet. The city council must first sign off on an agreement with the landowner before they look closely at the site.
And then we would move forward with announcing it to the community, giving notice to everyone within 1,200 feet, and then doing that whole kind of community feedback process that we go through with every site.
And with every site, the city puts in a 1,000-foot buffer zone where no unsanctioned camping is allowed. That would be in place if the site is this location. But we're not there yet. The city council takes that first step, the agreement with the property owner. They'll take that up for the first time next Monday night. David, back to you.
Not wanting to turn into another Portland, she says. Tim Gordon there reporting. Thanks, Tim. And staying in Vancouver, the man accused of trying to light Mayor Ann McInerney-Ogle's house on fire appeared in court. Aiden Murray was arrested Wednesday after police say he broke into a Mexican restaurant. That's when they connected him to the attempted arson at the mayor's home Monday night. Still no word on a motive, by the way. The judge this morning set his bail at $500,000. Murray made a statement about trying to seek treatment, but his lawyer told him to remain silent. He's scheduled to be back in court later this month. Recorded on video, a man wielding a big rock and then throwing it at a passing car. We'll show that to you again. It is not the first time this guy has been accused of going after drivers. He's been cited at least once for mischief in connection with those attacks. Let's bring in Mike Benner in the newsroom. Mike, a citation, a ticket, really not enough for his victims here.
Right, David. They don't think the punishment fits the crime. They think the cyclist, who is houseless, by the way, should be behind bars for what he's done. Now, I want you to take another look at the attack caught on camera. Yeah, check that out. A rock right into the windshield. Scary stuff right there. This happened on Saturday near Southeast 49th and Hawthorne. Steve Magnuson was behind the wheel at the time. He says this attack was totally unprovoked and it's left him quite rattled. Listen.
If I see a cyclist coming the opposite direction, I kind of check them out. I slow down if there's like an unusual vehicle. Hopefully that'll go away with time. But I certainly won't feel the same way again.
Yeah, neither will the woman who sent us these photos. She wanted to remain anonymous, but says the same man on a bike pulled up next to her and repeatedly hit her windshield with a bottle. The suspect has been identified as 51-year-old Robert Casey McClatchy. The houseless individual has a criminal history that dates back 2 decades. He's been busted for things like burglary, assault, and harassment, among other things. For these attacks on drivers, McClatchy was cited for second-degree criminal mischief, and he's been ordered to appear in court. David.
Let's just hope it stops. Thank you, Mike. The family of a Portland teenager who died after taking a counterfeit prescription pill that turned out to be fentanyl is now suing the alleged drug dealer. Carrie Cohen, the mother of Griffin Hoffmans, filed the suit in Multnomah County Court. The 16-year-old McDaniel High School sophomore died in March. According to court documents, 25-year-old Manuel Antonio Souza Espinoza was allegedly the third-level drug dealer who supplied the blue pills, which had the same appearance as painkillers. Espinoza faces federal charges in connection with Griffin's death. The lawsuit seeks $510,000 in damages. Griffin's mom telling KGW this case is about principle. Money was seized. We should get it. A collective sigh of relief across the country this evening as President Biden announced a tentative deal to avoid a freight rail workers strike. A strike would have meant major disruptions to passenger service and the nation's supply chain. There were fears, really, that this would accelerate inflation as well. Given where we're sitting, this is a good thing. You know, the White House says the president was heavily involved in the 20 hours of negotiations that went into the deal, bringing freight workers better pay and health care provisions.
This agreement is a big win for America. This is a win for tens of thousands of rail workers and for their dignity.
Rail unions still have to vote to approve the deal, though all sides seem to appear confident. Amtrak says it's working to restore long-distance routes it canceled in anticipation of the strike. Well, some good news on the Cedar Creek wildfire that's burning southeast of Eugene, with some evacuation levels once again being lowered. Now, all zones in and around the cities of West Fir, Oak Ridge, and High Prairie are now down to level 1, which is be ready. Now, while reduced, officials caution very real fire danger still exists. Residents should remain prepared. Now, there are still forest and road closures as firefighters battle the flames. The Cedar Creek fire right now has burned more than 92,000 acres.